Ahoy, sexy. Are you around this week? Ahoy, sexy.
That is actually very gay.
Am I nautically sensual?
You're funny.
Lev didn't laugh at any of my jokes.
You were so funny.
Previously on the show, we've done all three of Greta Gerwig's directorial projects: Lady Bird, Little Women, and the Barbie movie. Tonight we're going back in time to 2013 to talk about Frances Ha, the first film that Greta Gerwig co-wrote and starred in with her future husband Noah Baumbach directing.
It's what I want in a relationship, which might explain why I'm single now. Ha. It's kind of hard to... It's that thing when you're with someone and you love them and they know it and they love you and you know it, but it's a party and you're both talking to other people and you're laughing and shining and you look across the room and catch each other's eyes, but not because you're possessive or it's precisely sexual, but because that is your person in this life.
Back in 2007, Greta had co-wrote and starred in Hannah Takes the Stairs, although, like many films in the so-called mumblecore movement, the dialogue of the film was largely improvised. The basic details of Greta Gerwig's life have been pretty immortalized on screen at this point, both with Lady Bird, where she tells a fictional version of a story about an angsty girl growing up middle class in Sacramento, California, with loving parents but ones who didn't quite get her, and her desire to move to New York City to pursue a creative life, which she did, going to Barnard College, dorming with Kate McKinnon, and after being rejected from several playwriting programs, settling on becoming an actress. She was also a dancer and had originally wanted to do a degree in musical theater, but ended up getting her degrees in English and philosophy. She was cast in Joe Swanberg's LOL and the Duplass brothers' Baghead, which led to a creative relationship with Joe Swanberg that made Hannah Takes the Stairs, and then Nights and Weekends. In both cases, she got to both write and direct.
Up until 27, everyone says, "You're so young, you've got so much time." And then all of a sudden you're 27 and everyone's like, "Well."
Still at this point, 25, she was drifting through life in New York and became extremely depressed, working as a nanny and a tutor to make ends meet and afford rent. In 2010, she was cast in Greenberg by Noah Baumbach, who co-wrote that film with his then-wife, Jennifer Jason Leigh. She also got cast in Woody Allen's To Rome with Love, as well as starring in Whit Stillman's Damsels in Distress. After Greenberg, she and Baumbach began passing ideas back and forth for what would become Frances Ha, the story of a woman stuck at 27, having finished college at Vassar, with no idea of what to do next, stuck in this strange world between college and being a full adult.
You want to hear something hilarious?
Yes.
Lev thinks we're gonna end up married.
I'm too tall to marry.
You are.
That's so funny. Why does he think that?
Oh, I did want to sleep with you when I first met you. But now, totally undateable.
I guess we are like a married couple in a way. We talk, we don't have sex.
Yeah, we get along super well.
Starring Greta Gerwig, Adam Driver, Michael Zegan, Mickey Sumner as Frances's best friend Sophie, Grace Gummer, and Charlotte D.M. Boyce. At the beginning of the movie, Frances lives with her best friend Sophie. They have an extremely intimate kind of friendship that girls get between high school and adulthood, where they're virtually inseparable. But Sophie, who has an adult job at a publishing house, essentially breaks up with Frances to move into a nicer apartment and then get serious with her boyfriend Patch, throwing Frances' entire world upside down. The movie is really great. It relishes these deeply uncomfortable moments as Frances attempts to connect with the people she meets, many of whom are at different stages of life and don't get her at all. And in that way, it captures something really real. She's aging out of the time frame where she can join her dance company. Money is a real struggle for her, but because this is New York in the 2010s, it slowly dawns on her that it's not for the people around her.
Lev and I were talking about getting a maid to come once a week.
A maid?
Yeah, it's not that expensive. It's like $400 a month.
Do you know that I'm actually poor?
You aren't poor. There are poor people. You aren't one of them.
You'd feel poor if you had as little money as I do.
But you're not poor. It's offensive to actual poor people.
She moves in with Adam Driver's Lev Shapiro and Michael Zegan's Benji after Sophie moves out. And there's this line where she says, "I thought we were all actually poor." Both guys actually have rich parents who help subsidize their lifestyles. By her relationship with Pat, who works at Goldman, Sophie is also leaving Frances' authentically broke class strata. So this movie has a lot to say about class, in this time period where class actually starts to rear its head in a real way. Now alienating it can feel to actually struggle and realize that people around you are actually just pretending to struggle. The alienation of this movie really peaks at a point where Frances takes a trip to Paris alone on a credit card, and then ends up sleeping for most of the trip after taking a sleeping pill, and misses the call back from her college friend who lives in Paris.
The one moment that reliably makes me laugh the most is that moment when she's in Paris and she goes to the movie theater and asks them about Puss in Boots. Because I feel like it just totally captures a very particular feeling of being lost in a foreign city, having this romantic idea of what your experience is going to be, and then the reality of it, just being bored and eating some terrible restaurant and then going to see Puss in Boots. So did you sort of start with moments like that and then try to build scenes around them, or how did that work?
Just because it's my favorite line in the movie, because I think it's the saddest line of all time. It's not even, it's when did Puss in Boots start? She's not even gonna see it from the beginning. It's halfway through. It's like so tragic. It was, I mean, we did have like the when did Puss in Boots start, and then we did have we wanted her to be eating at the wrong bistro, but then we put her in a McDonald's and it was too sad. It was like, no, can't put her in French McDonald's. That's just too depressing.
The sequence where Frances goes home to Sacramento, Greta Gerwig's real family plays her movie family, adding to this authenticity. Noah Baumbach was very inspired by French New Wave. You see that not just in the choice to make the film grainy and black and white, but for the uncomfortable lingering on these characters, often very tight shots, and the choice to make an extremely honest film about youth. Towards the end of the film, Frances must take the humiliating choice to pay off her France credit card by working at Vassar College, Poughkeepsie represent, by being an RA and working at the receptions for visiting donors and important people, which is followed by a high note where Frances is working at the Dance Academy office and puts her own choreography out there.